program for single moms on how to get eligibility.
Hi, guys.
Oh, no.
Hello, how is everyone? Thanks for joining Cupcakes and Wine. I'm Andrea.
I'm Taylor.
And today we have a special guest, which is Ange.
Hi.
She is from Privy Boutique. We are going to get to her very soon because we have a lot of questions, and we hope that you guys do too. We are going to start off just acknowledging our elite sponsor, which is Vieira Auto Group on Earl Street, right in Fall River. Phone numbers for Brian. Oh, and we can't forget Liz.
Oh, Liz is the best.
Yeah,
She
we
makes
can't
that
forget Liz.
place.
Phone numbers, 508-730-9737 and 508-673-7510.
And when you call those, you're actually going to talk to Liz
Yes.
first before you even get anywhere, right?
Yeah.
I know. I always talk to her.
Yeah, we're always there, as you guys know.
We talked about this last week.
Yeah, we haven't been there this week, though.
Liz, I'll call you Wednesday morning.
Also, I don't know if you guys saw through Pink Zebra.
Yes. So our last show was about the remote learning, and we had Christina
Yes.
reach out to us that same night, actually, and have some really great resources for us. So do you want to kind of explain what that was about?
Yes. So Christina is an employee of Pink Zebra. You can go right on their website. It's www.pinkzebrahome.com. There is a tab there, and if you scroll down on the tab, there is a heroes section. So it is for single moms, I believe, that can get eligibility for children's daycare. There are some guidelines and requirements. They're actually pretty decent.
Yeah, they're pretty simple, and it's really easy to find through their website. We did post the link right through our social media pages. So if anybody's curious, needs some help with the child's care during all of this, with the remote learning, or whether your kids are in school or not even in school at all. I don't know if they're on hybrids, but just go right over to one of our social media pages and scroll down our feed. You'll definitely be able to find it right there. But it's really, really cool. Christina was really helpful too.
Yeah,
she reached out to us right away. Let us know that there is some resources out there that can help you guys with some childcare, because it's tough right now. I mean, you're a mom too, Ange. You know how that's going.
Get it. I get
You're
it.
running around, and
I get it.
And it gets expensive. I know a lot of people. Some of my friends either had to take a leave of absence from work to deal with some of this remote learning. They're either they left, or they don't even have a place for them to go right now because they are working. Because how do you just stop working? But we talked about that last week.
But, I mean, it is a good program. Definitely something you all should look into.
Yeah.
One of the requirements is that your child has to be currently in a daycare program.
Yeah.
So that was one of the requirements.
So what they do is they're helping you pay for the...
Yep.
It's almost like a daycare tuition.
Yes. And the check goes directly to them. So
Yeah, you don't even have to
moms
worry
don't
about a
have to
thing.
worry about it.
Yeah.
So as soon as you get accepted through them, they handle the payments for your daycare.
Yeah. So we hope it helps. Thank you, Christina, for sending that to us.
Thank you.
I know we've had a lot of shares on it, so hopefully some people got some help out of
Yeah.
it.
Again, just visit our social media pages. You put it on both, right? Instagram
I did.
as well?
It's on Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah. So either one, whatever you're on, just go and check it out. The link is right there. Super simple.
Yeah. So besides that, we are here today. I feel like I keep saying Ange. I love Ange.
Sometimes I forget my actual real name. Like I see people that, probably know me from school or
I was
something.
like, what even is your real name?
It's Angeli. So it's named after my dad. My dad's name was Angel. And I'll see people from like my past or like, when I was working in corporate or like people that know me from school and stuff. And they're like, Angeli. And it kind of takes me a second because I'm like, wait, hold on, who's that? But yes, my family, for the most part, it's Angie. The one I hear the most is mom, mommy, mommy.
Yeah, that's probably your favorite name anyways.
Yes, my girls definitely keep me on my toes.
I like seeing them there.
They're definitely, they're a handful, but if I could do it all over again and get my same kids, I would 100% do it 10 times over.
How
they
old are
legit.
your girls?
5 and 3. They are. I definitely.
You do have your hands. I don't even know. How do you even?
They were not ever planned. Like that was not in the plan.
That's usually how it works.
we had Abrielle, and she was a spitfire, literally from like day one. And at the time, I was still working in corporate, and I had I woke up this one morning, and I had a visit. I was doing a visit, an audit in one of my stores in Dorchester, and I literally remember waking up that morning, and I was like, I am so hungry. Like, I feel like I'm starving. Like, I haven't eaten in days. And needless to say, I get to the store. It's like 10:15 in the morning, and I'm like, the store manager was waiting for me, and I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, is there like a sub spot around here? Like, I don't know why, but like, I really want a steak and cheese. And
Oh no.
she's like, oh my gosh. She's like, yeah. She's like, there's this really good spot. It's right around the corner. So I was like, all right, let's go. So she's like, girl, it's 10:30 in the morning. And I'm like, it's okay. Like, let's go. And literally my whole way home that day, I threw up the whole way home. So literally for like 3 days straight, I'm thinking food poisoning. I'm telling everybody and their mother, like, I have food poisoning. Like, I don't know what's wrong with me. Like, my stomach is just unsettled. And it just so happened that we had both had the day off. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to go to the doctor's. And sure enough, he said, well, you're pregnant. We're going to find out what you're having the same day. Because I was already 19 weeks and 5 days. And that's how Valentina came along. So literally, they're 20 months apart, the two of them. Yeah, they're the best of friends. But when I tell you, they're literally two different people, like 100% two different people. My older one she's literally a mini me. She will talk to anybody in the room. She will perform for anybody in the room. She's just that type of girl. And my younger one, she's definitely more like him. She's more reserved. She's more like she's going to analyze you for 20 minutes. And then she'll decide if maybe she'll talk to you or not. But things have definitely calmed down a lot recently. Now they're both in school, so that definitely, V just actually started preschool, and then Abri just went into kindergarten. So, and thankfully, my kids are back full time.
Yeah, you're right.
So
We talked about this.
yes, I am very blessed in a sense that they are back and they're loving it. She's adapted really well with school. So those are my two girls. They definitely keep me busy for sure.
Not like everything else you do doesn't keep you busy on top of it.
Yeah. You know, I think it's pretty cliche when people are like, Ange, I really don't know how you do everything. And I'm like, honestly, I don't know neither. I think it's more so like a matter of the mind. And 9 times out of 10, I'm up at like 1 a.m. and I'm doing orders with private labels that are in LA or wherever. And most of the times I'm like, I am like super tired. But it's one of those things that it's like where energy goes and where energy flows, and where energy goes, energy flows.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
and it's like if I'm not gonna do it, somebody else is gonna do it, and why not me versus them or them versus me?
Yep.
So I'm really big on, you know, I can sleep somewhere down the line. Let me just get this shit done first. And
That's so
just
true. That is so true.
keep it going, you know? So yeah, that's my day to day. Yeah, it's pretty hectic.
And then you got the whole mom thing on top of it.
Yes, definitely so. But I think the biggest thing is just having, I used to always say, oh, I think it's so cliche when they say like, oh, it takes a village. And if that's not the most truest statement, like
I've been using that lately, that phrase.
I don't even
more than
know
I've
it
ever
is.
used it.
Since when?
This girl.
Yeah,
you are my village girl. I
call you one person.
freaking out.
One person.
She acts so tough, but she sends me the sweetest text messages that keep me together. She'll never. She's so mean. She is. She's so mean.
Are you a believer?
But then
No,
but then if you read my text messages from her, I won't even say them because I don't want anyone to think she's nice.
Well, I'm just trying to gas you up on
and
a
people
bad day.
don't realize it too. I mean, we've had people outsiders who don't know our relationship literally be like, you know, that was a little rough. And I was like, no, she really does love me. You just can't tell.
I just don't want to gas her up too much, you know?
Fair enough.
Keep her in line. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
That's
basically
it.
Put yourself in check.
She does. She does put me in check.
Take care of my stepchild, you know?
So I feel like everybody knows Privy. But
Yes.
I mean, really, I ask, where'd you get
But
that cute
I
outfit?
always say that, you know, there might be 100 people that do know about us, but there's also
gonna be
1,000 people that don't know about us.
So yeah, so well,
So Privy came about because I worked in retail since I was literally like 16. And I started off as like a temporary help for the holidays. And I loved it. I loved every aspect of it. And when I just kept going up the ladder. And then right after high school, I went to college in Rhode Island for a semester, hated it. And behind both my parents' back, I applied to all of these colleges in Miami because I was like, I'm getting out of here. Like, I don't know what they're doing, but like, I'm gone.
And were you up here in Mass?
Yes. I grew up in New Bedford. And I started getting all these acceptance letters, and I was the type that like I had friends for years and I never slept at their homes, like couldn't tell you what their bathrooms looked like.
Were you allowed to
like
go to the mailbox?
I was.
You were? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I wasn't like a sheltered kid at all. My parents definitely let me do my thing, but they were very strict. You know, I definitely had some strict rules in place, and there was a lot of things that I couldn't do. I didn't grow up in, I never grew up in like a single family home. You know, my parents weren't well off. And both my parents worked very hard. And after high school, like I said, I think I just grew up as a kid that just didn't like sleeping out. You know, my dad had me on the weekends, and that was like the sleep out for me. You know, it was like, I'm not going to my friend's house, I'm going to my dad's house, you know? And so when I started getting all these applications back in, and it was all acceptance letters, and my mom was like, Andrew, what are these things? And I was like, well, you know, I think I'm going to go to Miami. And I remember verbatim my dad saying, you're not going to last more than 2 weeks. And I was like, what? And we had like a going away party for me. And literally my parents were sitting there like, she'll be back. Don't worry about it. She'll be back. And I was like, yeah, you're bugging.
Wow.
Like, I'm out. And I did. I went away. And when I first went away, my dad was big on like, I didn't want you to work. I want you to just focus. And me being the true Libra that I am, super indecisive, like super indecisive. I first went down to Miami because my thought process was, I'm going to go take criminal justice and I'm going to work as a forensic psychologist. That was like my thing.
Whoa.
Wow. I got down there, I did a semester in it, and I was like, this shit is for the birds. This is so boring. I can't do this. And I did. So my parents were like livid because they're like, you just wasted an entire semester. Like, what's the matter with you? And I was like, well, you know, it's just really not working out. Like, I'm not interested. And so I respectfully enrolled in business. And at this time, so I went to Johnson & Wales and they did trimesters. So then we went, so then it was right before Christmas. We, you know, it was break, everybody went home. And my dad unexpectedly passed away. And that for me was like, you know, I think this is completely hysterical because when I went to Miami, I didn't know how to do laundry. I couldn't cook you a pot of rice. As Hispanic as I am, I couldn't make you a bean. I couldn't make you anything. And I literally remember like my first week, my mom dropped me off and she went back. She came home and like 2 weeks into my stay, I was like, well, shit, I gotta do laundry. Like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And I went to the supermarket and I grabbed some stuff I thought was like sufficient to wash clothes with. And there was a kid walking by like the laundry room and I was like, hi, hello, hey. And he was like, hi. And I was like, do you know how to do laundry? And he was like, yeah, why? And I was like, well, because I kind of don't. I was like, I think I have what I need.
So
but like,
how old were you, Ange?
18.
Okay.
Okay. So he's like, well, what do you mean you don't have to laundry? I was like, it's really not up for discussion. Let's get to it.
Let's get
So he looks at the bottles and he's like, well, you have like, you need detergent. And I was like, I got like 3 bottles. And he was like, no, they're all softeners. And I was like, I thought it was the same thing. So needless to say, he shows me how to do laundry. So that was like the first like, oh shit moment that like, I really need to get my shit together. I never paid like a cell phone bill. Like, it was always under my dad's name. I got my first car when I was in high school, and like I didn't have to pay any of that. I didn't know what a bill was. Yeah. And so unfortunately, my father passed away 4 days before Christmas, and I had to return back to school January 2nd. So I literally I buried my father the day after Christmas. And a week and a half later, I had to report back. And it was definitely like the hardest time I, till this date, probably have ever gone through. It was definitely, damn, I took all that shit for granted. I took, the relationship and him and my life and, everything that came along with it for granted. And, but the flip side of it was probably one of my hardest moments, but it was one of my best moments because I came out of it so much stronger. Like, shit, I really have to get my shit together, you know? So I did. I went right back into work, and I worked for 9 West, and I was a store manager for them. And I worked at a tanning salon, I worked at 9 West, and I worked at a law office. And I filed all their court reporting. And I went to school full time, and I did not have nobody out there in Miami. It was literally just me. And I was like, I have to put myself through college now. I have to really figure out A through Z at this point. And I did, and I went right back into retail. And my mom would always say, like, Angie, you always go right back into retail. And I was like, I don't know what it is. I just gravitate towards it. I don't know. I enjoy it. It's something really fun for me. And throughout all so then I finished my bachelor's. I went for grad school, and after that I was like, I went to like a networking event, and I met the regional director for Wet Seal and R&B at the time.
Cool.
And that's when that was like, woo, those were like the
that was
stores. Yeah. And her and we just clicked, and she was like, I have a store manager position in Taunton if you want it. And I was like, Taunton, hell yeah! Taunton at the time, it was like 2008, 2009. That was like the shit, Taunton Mall. So it was like, hell yeah, I want to work there. Like, yes, let's do it. And I did. And from there on, I literally just kept going. I went from store manager to district manager to regional to director of stores. I pretty much did it all. And I think the end result was I always wanted to go out and do my own thing. Because I never really because I worked in retail for all of these years, I never needed to go to a mall to get something right. I never needed to go to a shop to get something right, because I was always at work. So it was like, girl, you want to go out tonight? And it was like, hell yeah, I'm going to get my outfit right now, right off the rack. I'm ready to go, But it was like the off times, it was like, well, where could I order from, or where could I go? And it was like nothing ever caught my eye. It was either I was ordering from like Zara online, or I was grabbing something from R&B, and it was always like there was nothing that ever was 100% me that I could be like, okay, I could trust myself from head to toe and I'd be good, and I'm solid. So again, my end result was always like, I want to open up something that is a representation of me, and an inclusive space so that all women felt respected. And I think that was huge for me. And I had my first daughter, and I went back to work. I took a year off, actually. And then we had our second daughter. And at that point, I was like, I can't do this. And literally, so I went back to work, and I was super sick. And so I was out of work for a couple weeks, and I returned back to work, and I had a corporate visit in Brockton. And one of the people that worked for me out of the corporate location in New Jersey was coming in to visit to figure out what supplies needed for that store. And she was the way she spoke was very condescending, very belittling. And I don't do well with that because, like, girl,
you're Hispanic.
Like, that's what we're not gonna do, you know. I'm big on, like, I'm always gonna treat the janitor the same way I'm gonna treat the CEO. Like, you know,
Absolutely.
And for her, she was an older woman, and I was younger, and she didn't really know how to deal with that concept. It was like, well, who is this young woman Spitfire going to tell me how to do my job? And
handle your own.
So so the plan was, I had found the space for Privy already. And we had a plan.
That's where you are
Westport.
now.
So it's been that spot the whole time.
Yep.
Right.
So the plan was, Wade and I had spoke, and the plan was wait it out until after the holidays, and then we'll figure it out, you know? So this is September. It was like the third week of September-ish. So I go back to work. It's my first day back. And she comes in, and she pretty much asked me if I was like, okay. But like in a very mean way. Mm-hmm. And I was like, you know what? I literally like I had to take a step back.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, you know what? And you know, I threw a few F-bombs out there. And I never forget, I called my boss and I was like, my keys are in my office in Brockton. And I'm done.
Homegirl was out.
And well, this is the kicker. So I'm like, my keys are in my office in Brockton. You guys can figure it out. So I walk out of there, right? So I'm like, my keys, my belongings, everything is in my office. So I walk out of there. So I'm like, oh shit. And I'm like, how the hell am I going to tell Wade? Right? Because the plan was we were waiting until after the holiday. So I'm like, shit. So I get in the car. I get on the highway. I'm like, fuck this. I'm going home. So I'm thinking to myself, and I'm like, shit. I have my whole ring of keys from all the other 20 stores that I had.
Oh
They're
my
all
God.
in my trunk. My laptop's in my trunk. My supplies, like for all the stores are in the trunk. So I'm like, shit. I'm like, damn it. I have to face them
You're gonna
again.
have
So
to
I'm
go
like,
back.
damn it. Right. So my personal phone is ringing off the hook. It's my boss. And he's like, please go back. Like, and I'm like, no, F you. Like, I'm gone. Click. So
She's still holding strong as she's like, how am I
still,
getting home?
yes. How am I getting home? How am I going to explain this to Wade? So I'm like, shit.
I'm in so much shit.
Yeah.
But no, not today.
But you don't understand. So I literally call him and I'm like, hey. And he's like, hi. And I'm like,
Oh, hey.
yeah. And I'm like, are you sitting? Are you sitting?
That's like the famous line.
And he's like, yeah, why? And now he's like getting stern. He's like, yeah, why? And I'm like, wow, because like, you know,
What
so I like
happened?
just laughed. And he's like you laughed like for the day? And I was like, no, I like laughed like
for the month.
like, you know what? Just like, fuck that, I laughed. And he's like, well, I mean, if that's what you thought, like, I guess we'll just figure it out. Like, we'll figure it out. And I was like, fuck yeah, we'll figure it out. We're going to figure it out. And literally, I pulled Privy together in about 3.5 weeks.
Oh, shit.
And we opened, what's today? Today's the 12th?
Yeah.
We opened
Yeah.
3 years ago tomorrow.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Sounds like a 3-year
I almost hate
anniversary.
you for that.
Yep.
I almost hate you for that.
Why?
Girl, I be driving by, make a quick detour.
Oh, please tell the story about the shoes.
Like,
Never mind.
seriously, like,
So,
yeah, like, legit just be driving, and it's like, oh my God, Ange posts a pair of shoes, and it's like, Ange, I need those shoes, put a size 7 aside, I'm going now. Like, I'm going out, I
She
need
walks
the
in
shoes.
all dressed up.
Yeah, she was ready to go.
Yeah.
She was ready for the date already. I was like, girl, where are you going? Hey, jewelry on and all.
She hated her shoes.
All of it.
But that's why
All of
we
it.
have you.
Yeah.
You know?
I try. I think the biggest thing too is just trying to find a happy median between like, you know, because I know that we are very different from whoever else is in the area. And I 100%, that's what I thrive to be. Is as different as possible from anybody else that's out there, not local, not statewide, anything. Just I want to be, oh shit, how did she come up with that? Or oh shit, I didn't know those were in style. Or, you know, like in a sense, it's kind of like, this is my lane. I'm going to stay in it, but I'm just going to keep on paving my little
Yeah, your
cement
own lane.
blocks. And you know, my thing was I knew that, you know, from the jump, we were super edgy, we were sexy, we were, you know, we were comfy on a good Sunday, you know, we were kind of trying to be all of the above. And, you know, I'm very thankful in a sense that people have gravitated towards it and they appreciate it. I think when we first opened, I never forget, we had a mom that came in and she was probably like late 30s. And, she said, I didn't feel like I could dress sexy because I was a mom. And I was like, you know, I think that's like the biggest, that's probably like one of those statements that really like grinds my gears. Because I feel like there should never be a point in life that you're like, I can't do this because of this. I feel like there's a fine line for sure. Like, I'm not telling you to, throw your WAP around Instagram. But I also feel like, you becoming a mom is one part of you. But you becoming you and being comfortable in the skin that you're in is a whole different realm.
Yep.
And I think it's so, it's crazy because the amount of girls that walk in and they have like sweatpants on, super dressed down, and you can't really see their body in like their bigger clothes. And they get in the fitting room and they come out and you're like, holy shit. Like, I didn't even know that was out. That was underneath there, you know?
Yeah.
And a lot of them, they're either shy or they're like intimidated or they don't really know which route to go with it. So I think for me, it was huge in a sense to go in as
That is huge.
One, we were one style. We were a completely different style. Two, we were going to empower any woman that walked in, whether you lost 100 pounds, you gained 20 pounds, you became a mom, like we were in it to empower any and every woman that walked through that door. And I think that was huge for me because, I remember doing market research for the area and it was like, I didn't feel empowered when I went into this place, or I didn't feel like they had something that included me, or, I was told that I couldn't afford this, or like different situations. And I was like, wow, like, that's kind of an earful and it's kind of, disheartening to hear. So for me, I think it was huge. And, being that location that was like I could go in there with my scrubs on and I wasn't going to be judged.
I have never felt more comfortable actually in a store with you.
Yeah.
So, and I'm trying not to tear up because
no,
you
stop.
also,
I'm a crier, so
you
don't
made-
cry, girl. I'll cry.
Because you even
Girl, I cry about everything.
you made a comment the other day too, which because I'm a mom of a girl.
Taylor, are
and
you crying?
Shut up!
You're such a bitch. And you're crying.
Stop!
I'm a crier. You'll make me cry.
I
Don't
know,
cry,
but I had
Taylor.
walked in and you just were so not judgmental
She was
of
having a day that day.
things going on, and I was.
I
I walked in. I was already
You were-
having a day.
you were having a
and,
day.
I was, and you were just like, I get it. And then you made a comment later on, and you were
And I was
like,
like, she's got to get her shit together.
you really are so non-judgmental. And then you were like, but also I'm a mom of girls, and I understand that you have to have a certain stance on things, but you still get it, And it was just like, I belong here.
I'm really big on. I always say I don't judge anybody's parenting skills. I don't judge how you raise your kids. That's completely your business.
Yeah.
But what we won't do in front of my kids is I'm big on empowering my girls. And it's so hysterical because literally when they say your kids are a product of you, that cannot be more true.
Hysterical.
My kids, if my older daughter gets dressed before my younger daughter, Valentina will literally look at Abby and be like, you look so beautiful. I love that.
That's my daughter.
And they are so empowering towards one another.
Yeah.
And I think that's so huge. And I've been around different people and, that have different views on parenting and stuff like that. And, they have these weird, these crazy conversations that I consider crazy. They might be normal to other people.
Yeah.
In a sense that, I'm big on we don't call names in front of my kids. I don't do the name calling. We don't use the word FAT in case my kids are watching. We don't use the word DIET in front of my kids. I'm very big on those things.
That's huge.
I'm big on, don't touch people's hairs. I'm big on
Especially with girls.
especially with girls. Because girls are fucking mean. Girls are bitches.
Girls are mean.
And I think it's really hard. My older daughter, the minute you see her, she's it. She's the most confident 5-year-old you've ever see.
Yes, that's
she has these big curly hair.
Yeah.
And I never forget when she first started school. One day she asked me, Mommy, how come all my friends in my class, how come they don't have straight blondie hair? And I was like, well, just because they're different. Their moms or their dads probably have straight blonde hair. Your dad doesn't have straight blonde hair. I don't have straight blonde hair. So I think it's so important to, one, explain these things to our kids and so that they know that there's no right or wrong and there's nothing that's better or less than, what they have or don't have.
Everybody is awesome.
Right. And, I think it's huge and I think I kind of really honed in on this really badly after I had my first daughter. I went through a very bad postpartum, postpartum. And that was probably my most humbling time of my life. because I didn't want to get dressed. I didn't want to leave the house.
I
It
think
was
that
like
first week
90
after
degrees
birth
outside, and I was like in sweatpants, like sweating, miserable outside.
They're like,
But I wanted to cover everything up, and I went, that was definitely like a very humbling experience for me. And I think definitely made me realize that, you just never know what people are going through. So as much as I'm huge on like, no, we're women and we're entitled to the same respect as men are.
Yeah.
I'm big on, I also don't want my kids to ever feel inferior to the girl that's thinner than them, or the girl that has straighter hair than them, or can dance better than them, or any of the above. I think that's huge for me. So it's kind of a thin line when I'm sitting here empowering women, and then on the flip side of it, I'm also not, like I said, I'm not going to WAP on Instagram.
Yeah.
Like that's just, there's a fine line between that. So do I empower those women that WAP? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But would I do it? No, it's not me,
Because you got to think who's watching you at that point
right.
for you.
And, I think on social media, it's huge for you to be one person, and then in life for you to be the second.
Yeah.
But I'm big on being very transparent and being that same person across the board. Like the same way that I'm going to tell you, like, girl, work that short ass skirt and go to the club and have a good ass time and have a good ass drink, is the same time that I'm going to tell you to do it in a respectful manner. Because again, I'm big on never give somebody something to talk about. The less you know, the better.
And you should know that with owning business now, because
girl, don't tell me what a good time we'll be here all night.
Do we drive you crazy? Like, I'm just saying the general girl, just say it. I mean, because sometimes I be telling you something and I'm like, why did I just say that?
I don't. It's more so. I just had this so one of my good girlfriends, she owns a hair salon. And we were just talking about this morning. She was talking about rebranding and stuff like that. And I was like, I think what has allowed me to relate to a lot of my audience is the fact that I'm very transparent. I'm big on social media. I'm big on just tapping in, even if it's a selfie because I got my hair blow dried on Instagram. It's something. And that's more so to say that, hey, I'm a mother. I don't always have my hair done. Yes, I got a blow dry, but like the shit's gonna be done tomorrow, and I'm gonna be back to looking like the homeless mom I was 2 days ago. So it's equally relatable to everybody that walks into Privy, And I was telling her, I think people that go to you, they want to feel like they relate to you in some type of way.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say right now, I have walked into other boutiques and felt out of place.
Yeah, I have to.
Like I felt like. Because I walked in homeless, or I walked in
local. It's sad,
and
it's local businesses
and
too,
I felt like I was kind of looked down.
Yeah, of course. Right? Yeah, and I think too is I'm big on like sweatpants. I'm like my joggers are like my shit. Like, listen, if you judge me on my joggers, then like don't ever try to sell me shit, because like I'm big on my joggers. And, we were just talking about like fillers and injections and Botox the other day. And somebody had said that they wanted to go to a specific person, but they felt like they needed to be dolled up. And I was like, oh, hell no. When I go to my Botox, I'm in my sweatpants. I'm in my sneakers.
Oh my God.
And
like, loving us when we're ugly.
We walk in like, I don't, I don't feel,
you're going to be all over my face anyways.
Like, I don't feel like I have to wear my freaking $3,000 bag in order to feel like I fit in. You know what I mean? And I never want to feel like that in any establishment that I walk into. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm going to walk in with my sweats, like, just serve me the same as the next girl that's walking in with her slacks.
Well, I'm listening. There's like 20 different views of me. Like, you see, I walked into here today.
I've seen
ratchet.
Yeah, I've seen a ratchet tailor. I've seen a homeless tailor. I've seen a tailor in a mood every day.
There's always at least a half hour of that.
But it's true. I mean, nobody should be treated different.
Yeah.
Just for walking in. I mean, girl, sometimes I don't even know who I am.
Half the time I get to the register, I'm like, shit, I left my purse in the car. Hold on, I'll be back. Like, because I'm so here, there, and everywhere. If I'm not at the store, I'm at the salon, or I'm dropping my kids, or my older daughter has dance 3 days a week, so she keeps me super busy. And it's like, I don't have time to think, like, shit, do I have my purse? Like,
yeah, do I have my things? Do I?
Half the time I'm getting home, and I'm like, well, damn it, I was out all day, and I didn't have my license. Like, shit, like, what the heck was I thinking?
We have joggers with heels.
Girl,
Yeah,
all the time. All the time.
Keep it comfy.
I
but
could
keep
be
it
a good
classy.
I love me a good sock boot with joggers. That's like my joint, like 100%. That is my joint. But I will say that since having kids, my feet have changed like tremendously. So like prior to kids, I used to like despise sneakers. Like I wasn't a sneaker person at all. And now shit about sneakers.
Yeah,
like
Andrea
I
lives in sneakers.
live
too.
in sneakers, and one night. Oh my god, this is hysterical. So one night,
I'm about to get comfortable right now. Got my sneakers on.
so like when you're in a relationship for so long, you try to still look cute, and well, Andrea's a little suffering in that department, but so. You try to still be cute and presentable and like, yes, let's have date night. I'm gonna fuck this look up. Like, this is it, right? So, not too long ago, I was freaking crying. We always try to do like a date night at Los Andes in Providence. That's like our joint.
What do you get there, Ange? I have
So-
to know. What do you get there?
I get there bistec a la pobre.
Oh,
It's
you
like a
are
steak.
Oh, I'm not even gonna try to say.
So I get the chicken, okay? I get the chicken.
So we got there, right? And we had plans. We were like, we're gonna go for a drink after, right?
Oh no.
So we never get out because again, life is just so hectic.
Kids, yeah.
So I'm like, I'm gonna wear my flats at Los Andes and then I'll put my heels on when we leave there, So I wear my flats in there. We have dinner, super good. We leave there. We go to Nara because we're like, let's just go have a drink, right? Little music in the back, like this is gonna be good, right? Yep. So we get to Nara, and I'm like, oh wait, I'm like, hold on, I have my heels. Let me turn my heels on, right? So we're walking, and all of a sudden I'm like, damn, I feel some air. Like my foot's like a little weird, right? So I'm like, wait, I'm like, slow down. I'm like, I think something's wrong. Like, hold on. So he's like, what? So I'm like, just slow down a little bit. You're going fast. So he's like, okay. So we get to the door and I'm like, I'm trying to like really make it discreet. And I'm like, let me look down. And my whole heel was off my shoe, like completely off my shoe.
That is like that is literally, I've had nightmares about that happening.
Literally like off my shoe. So I'm like, oh my God, wait. I'm like, I need you to run to the car. I need you to get my flats, but like, don't have my flats in your hand. Have them in like your back pocket or something. Don't make it obvious,
Yeah, men are not good.
No, not at all. So here he comes with my flats in his hand. So I put them on. We go upstairs, whatever. So the whole night I was like, I'm gonna get my shoes fixed. Like those are my favorite shoes. Like I'm gonna get those bitches fixed, right? So I have them literally on the table and they're just resting there the whole night. And
Girl, zero bucks.
They're chilling. Those are my shoes.
Zero bucks given.
My shoes.
My favorite shoes.
don't you fucking dare touch them. So the lights start going on, the cleanup crew comes. The guy's like, I was like, oh no, those are good shoes. No, leave those right there.
I know what they look like right now.
And he's like, they're broken. I was like, no, they're not. Put them back there right now. We're gonna fix these back lines.
She gets fixed.
No such thing as broken shoes.
Back up.
You don't touch my shoes.
Yeah, seriously. So I've definitely leaned towards more of the shorter heel nowadays because that's definitely like my tolerance level these days for sure.
I feel like the heel level has gone down after being
Not
a
for me.
mom.
100%.
Yeah, we know. You need.
You need a short heel.
Mom.
You might need a shorter heel anyway, Andrea.
For the weird things you get yourself into. I'm there for them. I know what happens.
We work together.
I only need little heels because I'm short, so it's like
You
chase
are
it out
short.
there, Andrea.
You're like a midget.
Wait for me. I have little legs.
You're like, yo, I'm right here. Wait up.
I hate that feeling of like my feet are going faster than my legs.
Yeah.
I'm like,
That's
You're exhausted by
you get to the door, you're like, shit, I'm sweating. I go, hot flash.
shit, Andrea. Why you gotta run?
That's me with Wade. He walks so quick. Sometimes I'm like, slow down. I'm fucking dying. We're not even gonna get in there because I'm gonna die beforehand.
You're like smearing my makeup.
The worst is the mascara. When your mascara starts running down your
I
face.
haven't worn mascara in years.
Yeah.
Well, you have eyelashes.
Yeah.
You know?
I could
with
never
it.
not do them.
Yeah, I will die with these things on.
Seriously.
Like if you guys don't put them
And when
on,
I do
when
die,
I
I like make sure I have like 2
I
sets
just feel
on.
like I'm like,
yeah, but I feel like you always look good. You barely even wear makeup, to be honest with you,
No,
stupid
yeah.
bitch.
That's why I do a lot of lashes because I never really wear makeup.
Yeah,
so
so
I
you
feel
just
like
run
with
out.
lashes, like I'm like good. I'm presentable.
Yeah, I
Now
feel like,
and I
now
feel better.
just keep like
you
checking
know?
out everyone's lashes. I'm like, hey.
These are actually so. Kaylina has done my lashes for a few years now, and she actually came out with a new lash line.
what do you have? They do look fantastic.
It's called Naked Eye, and this is actually 2 weeks in.
What is that? What is the difference on that?
It's her own lash line that she came out with.
Those look great.
Yeah, don't they?
They're definitely not naked.
No,
Where
they're
is-
not, girl. This
where's
is fully
she?
dressed.
No, this is
Located.
full.
She actually works out of the Glow Up Bar.
Okay.
Oh,
Yep.
all right.
Okay.
So yes, Kaylina's super awesome. She'll definitely take care of you. But
I'll
they are
help you
definitely the best lashes I've
Ever
literally had. Yeah, I wear contacts too. So I feel like my eyes are always like wet in a sense.
Yep.
Or they're like dry, and I'm like picking at them. And 100%, I'm not the best at upkeep. Like not the best at all. Like I grab the spoolies from her, and the girl probably spends more money on spoolies for me than she does in all total. Like legit, because I take them all the time from her
then you
room,
don't use
and I
them?
never use them. I
Yeah.
find them in my kids' makeup drawer.
Oh,
like-
my daughter takes mine all the time too.
so I never get to really like use them. And you know they all sell like the aftercare, like the washing.
Yeah,
and
the
I don't
wash.
got time for that shit. Like I'm
No,
barely
you gotta
making
be
it
on
to
the
my kids'
move.
school. Like
I don't even see my house sometimes.
seriously, by the time I leave the house in the mornings, like shit's just everywhere, and I'm like, you're so pretty. I want to get to you later. As soon as I get home, I'm gonna pick you all up.
Then I'll be
And then I get home and I'm like, yeah, I didn't pick up shit. I'm gonna get to it tomorrow.
Well, because you're exhausted by the end of the day.
And tomorrow never comes.
Do you find after the kids go to sleep, you're like, all right, I'm gonna get this, and this done prior for them going to sleep, and then they go to sleep, and you're like,
No.
no.
So literally, I am like a night warrior.
So you get a lot of shit.
And when the kids go to sleep, like I try to have them in somewhat of a routine. Like by 8 o'clock, they're in the bath.
Yeah,
8:30, they're in bed.
Good.
Sometimes it's more like 9:30.
Because things are happening.
Depending on the day, and like I said, my older daughter, she does dance 3 days a week, so sometimes
you're
our
there
nights
late.
run a little bit longer. So I try to have them in bed by at least 9:30, like the latest.
Yep.
And that is like my go time. Like I'm like
You
doing
get shit
laundry, I'm switching laundry out, I'm folding laundry, I'm ordering. And then I have my nights that I'm like, I'm effing exhausted. I'll get to that laundry tomorrow,
Yeah.
and like I'm just gonna finish out my ordering for
yeah.
the week.
I'll have like 2 good solid nights. and
Yeah.
then- and then the rest I'm like, I need.
So it really
I
just
need sleep.
depends on like how my day or how like my week thus far has gone, that I like kind of like dictate what I do.
Yep.
Or I'll have one of them that's like, can you lay with me? And I'm like, sure, give me a minute. And I'll
that's
do a
where
couple
I-
things, and then I lay down, and
That's
then I'm
where I
back
fail.
to my couple
Yeah.
things. And then it's like 1:30 in the morning, and I'm like, shit, I'm really exhausted. I'm
And
really
you have to
gonna
wake
pay
up
for this
early now because
tomorrow.
now you gotta get them to school, get them ready, get them to school.
Yes.
It's not
Oh,
like
yeah.
you can sleep in.
100%. No, there's never a day. You
I
don't
don't-
ever get like
No.
PTO or anything like
No,
that. You don't
no,
get sick
no, no.
days, like Andrea. We don't get sick days. like
I get no
Andrea,
sick
you know?
days anymore.
I try to call Andrea to take her.
I'm here today. It's a holiday. I'm here.
Andrea's like, I'll take her for a little while.
Hour max. We're gonna Dunkin' Donuts. We're gonna do a couple of rounds around the
Do
block, and she's
something.
back.
Yeah.
Don't get too comfortable, Taylor.
Yeah.
Comfortable.
Don't get too comfortable. Nope.
But can we also talk about if you want to get the best spray tan? I would agree for
Yes. So last year, so what are we 2020 again?
2020.
2020. This year's been just crazy. Like I said, Keelan's done my lashes for a few years now, and one day I had gone in and she was working at Hollywood Glow on the Ave right next door to like PNT and all that, and one day I had gone in and she said, "Oh my God, Ange, I don't know what I'm going to do." And I was like, "Well, what do you mean?" And she was like, "Oh, he's talking about selling the salon." And I was like, "What?" And for shits and giggles, literally shits and giggles, because I never in a million years owned a salon. Like the biggest thing I ever did in a salon was I worked in a tanning salon. That was it.
Yep.
So I never had dreams or ambitions of opening a salon, owning a salon. It was never in my cards. And for shits and giggles, I was like, "Oh, I wonder how much he wants for it." And him and I spoke a few times. Wade and I had spoke a few times, and Wade was like, "If you want to do it, let's do it." And we did. And so we had officially bought it out January 1st of this year. And then we did a shit ton of renovations, and then we opened in March. And COVID hit, so we were closed, up until July. And then we reopened. And at first I was like, "Oh, I think I want to find somebody to rent the room and do sprays." And then I had gotten certified in it, and I did a few people, and I was like, wait a minute, I actually like doing this.
Yeah, yours come out really beautiful.
And then I've learned how to like mix like custom colors and like stuff like that. And I think the science behind all of it is super cool. So now I'm like intrigued by it. So I thoroughly enjoy doing the sprays. But honestly, we do a shit ton of stuff there. So like Keeleen does our lashes there, but she also does henna. And then we have Mina. She does all of our threading. We have teeth whitening, and our teeth whitening is like literally amazing. It's a dentist grade system. You can only do it once every 6 months. Yeah, you can only do it once every 6 months, and the results are like phenomenal. And so we do spray tanning, then we do regular tanning. We switched out a few beds, got new ones. So yeah, so the glow up bar is like a bunch of things in one, and then we also have a Privy shop, like a pop-up shop, in the glow up bar. So
in there.
Yep. So pretty much, so on average at Privy, we release like 75 to 100 new arrivals a week.
Take all my money.
On like a lower end, we probably release like 75 a week. And then on like a crazy week, we're probably like up towards like 100 new arrivals a week. So the glow up bar will literally, they house one of each new arrival a week. So one small, one medium, and large, and then Westport still has literally all of our inventory. Yeah. All of our back stock, the rest of everything, the rest of our size runs, literally everything. The only thing that the Glow Up does not carry is footwear. So footwear will solely stay in Westport, just because the salon it's a lot smaller and we don't really have anywhere to like house it. So footwear will always remain in Westport. Yeah. But the salon is something different for me. Like I said, I've never done it. And it's like instant gratification. So like girls go in there and they're super pale and they're like, oh, I have a wedding in 2 days and blah, blah, blah. And it's like you spray them and it's like, oh my gosh, I love it. You know? So that for me is like, it's like like, yes, you fucking love it. You know, like I love it. You love it.
And
like,
also,
we're good, you know?
to go back to where you were saying, like, you are so non-judgmental. Like, I know I would have no
my
problem going
gosh.
into that room and taking my clothes off in front of you. No problem.
You know what's the
I knew you were
funniest
gonna make me a
thing?
fucking daze.
You know what's the funniest thing? So we have like disposable thongs and like all that stuff that we give everybody. And literally 9 out of 10 times, girls are like, oh, I'm not going to wear that. You don't mind?
you don't
and I'm
care.
like, no, I don't care.
No.
And throughout the entire spray, we don't ever mention their body, any, insecurities they have. We never, ever address it.
No, I feel like
there's
you're like
times,
chill as hell when you're...
there's times that I walk in the room and they're like, oh, excuse my boobs, or like, I'm whatever. And I'm like, yeah,
I don't care.
we don't talk about that. And, they'll laugh and, we go and I'm like, how's work? How's the kids? Like, and we completely get off topic. Because again, I think, and this goes right back to the store as well. I think when you go to these places, whether it's a salon, getting your hair, your nails, it's kind of like your safe zone that you're like away from everything and you're like, oh, I can just relax. I don't have to feel I'm not chasing my kids. I'm not, I'm not worried about my fat that's hanging, or I'm not worried about this. Like, it's your time. Like, I know when I go to my nail salon, I'm like, I go to like the next door, it's like a liquor store next door. I buy like a candy bar. I sit there. Like, that's like my time, I try to like not take any phone calls while I'm in there. Like, it's literally like my time to unwind. Yes. So I 100%, I wholeheartedly go into that every time that somebody comes into, whether it's Privy or the salon, that we talk about everything else, but, like the everyday stressors in life, and I say it all the time, I swear I'm like a diary for everybody. I literally, everybody just spells it all. And I'm completely okay with that, because in my mind, it's like, if you said that to me, you were comfortable enough saying that to me. And for me, if you were comfortable enough saying that to me, then I've done my job.
Yeah, and you keep it very serious. You take that seriously.
So I think for me, that was like, that's like my day in and day out, know. And a lot of the girls that come to the store, they've literally been with us since day one. Like the first Saturday we were open, like, and they still are there every week, every other week, and or they're there every other week and they have a freaking pile from 2 weeks already. And so I always try to go right back to where it started, and that's why, we have like the yearly parties and, we do kind of all of these fun things to kind of tie them into it. And more so in a sense, so they feel like they have a part in that, because essentially you all do, anybody that has walked through the doors of Privy or the salon, you have 100% contributed to our success in any way, shape, or form. Even if you haven't bought anything ever, you've liked a post, you've shared a post, you've commented on a post, and that is a form of support. And I think nowadays where we're at is, I think when you go into business, you expect for A through Z to support you, and it's really, D through F that supports you.
Group,
And it's a group of supportive people, a group of support from a bunch of people that you've probably never met. You've met them from your business, and I talk to a lot of younger girls that come in, whether they're hairdressers, nail artists, lash artists, a bunch of things, and my biggest thing to them is, don't ever worry about who doesn't support you. If you spend too much time on that, you're going to become the unsupporter of your own dream. And I think that is so essential nowadays, to just focus on. I think social media has such a big part in everybody's downfall and rise. And I think it's so easy to get caught up in the social media hype of I have to be this, or I have to look like this, or I have to have this in order to, be subject to a certain crowd. And, I come in to say, like, no, you don't.
No, you don't.
No.
Like, I'm big on, like, if people like you, like, they like you. Like, they'll rock with you till day in and day out. You could do a bomb-ass nail set, but if you're nasty, like, you're going to lose a lot of people, A
lot of business owners. I mean, I shouldn't say business owners. A lot of people in general as a population don't think like that.
Yeah, they could do one thing. They do physically do something, but their heart's not in the right place.
Right.
And that's what throws it off.
Yeah.
Like I said about going into other boutiques and feeling like shit because like I dress like this, or even like I've paid with cash before in boutiques, and I have people like, oh, like almost like,
oh my god, it's like that movie
I
without
pulled
the
out,
prostitute.
Yeah,
What's the name? What's that movie without the prostitute? Oh my god, I love that movie when she's in the claw tub. Are you kidding me?
I don't know
what you're talking about.
Oh my god, oh my god, what is it? You guys know what this is?
I don't.
Oh, Pretty Woman.
Somebody just said, for real, I like
Richard
her.
Gere.
I have not watched that in
years.
Girl, okay, but the claw tub is life. I mean, just saying.
I do love a good claw tub. I do.
Well,
I do.
like,
I love a good tub in general. Like, tubs are like life. And like, my kids swear I can't take a bath. Like, they're like, Mom, we take baths. Like, you take a shower.
Yeah,
and I'm like, who told you that
That's
lie?
weird for
Pretty
grown-ups
Woman.
to take one.
Like, who told you that lie?
No, but there's a part in it when, she's dressed like a certain way and she goes into this higher end boutique and they're like, we can't serve you. And it's like,
Yeah.
And it's like, who are you to tell me
yeah,
that?
No.
It's
And
terrible.
I think, for me, I think our audience at Privy specifically is just so broad. So, I get the 18-year-old that, has a job at like Dairy Maid or something.
Yep.
And, they come in for a top every 2 weeks. And then I have the girl that's in her mid-20s that has a little bit more expandable income. And then I have the woman that's 30 plus that has more expandable income. And they're like, give me every single one of your new arrivals.
Yeah.
So I think it's so important to be able to attract everybody in a different way.
And it's cool that you get to make all these different women from all these different categories of life like feel sexy and feel good.
100%. And I think, again, it goes back to just being a lover of women. Like, I'm a woman's woman. Like, I don't, like, we are not inferior of each other. Like, we're all, I always say, if you like it, I love it. Like, I'm never going to tell you no. I'm never going to tell you don't get it. If you like it, I love it. Like, and that's been literally my biggest mantra is like, if you like it, I love it. So like, I might have my own feeling about it, but like, I'm never going to take that away from you, in the most non-judgmental way. Like, girl, you do that shit.
Yeah, you're a hype girl.
100%. Like, yes, like, you freaking like it, I love it. Like, because again, I think the world, especially the world that we live in today, like, I feel like the world we live in today is, I was just saying the other day, I'm like, I'm really not a fan of the world we live in right now. And I think people are very, very bitter right now. Very, I don't even know. It's like, people are just people right now. And I think like
very people-y.
Yeah. Like, and I just
nasty, and I'll say it. Y'all are just nasty. Be nicer.
Yeah.
I got you.
And I just think that I just think that, you know, like, life is too short. Life is way too short. Like, you know, I don't care how many grudges you have. Like, life is way too short. Like, when I opened Privy, like, I didn't have like 100 fans at the door, like screaming me on.
Mm-hmm.
I had people blocking me on social media already. We didn't have a storefront sign, like, you know.
The haters come out real fast.
I've never been in their store. I've never had the money. Like, I don't know any of them. And for me, it was so disheartening because it was like, girl, what? Like, we could partner together. Like, we could do a show together.
Do something,
because you are not my competition. Nobody in my field is my competition except for me yesterday. And I'm solid on that.
That's awesome.
You know, like, my only competition is me yesterday. You know, my whatever failures I had yesterday, like, that's my competition. And that is my goal, to overcome whatever that is. And I think, you know, my everyday, in somewhat shape or form, my failure is like my time management. It's awful. Like, as much shit as I do on a day-to-day basis, my time management is terrible.
Ange, I'm sorry. What was that? What was that? Time management.
Taylor,
I
girl.
hate that so much.
I'm telling, like, it's
But
pretty
to
bad.
be a mom,
I'm getting
I think
comfortable.
your days are so unpredictable.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
You just really never know.
I know. See,
You just really never know. Like, because, again, like, there's some mornings that it's like kumbaya. Like, both of the kids are like, oh,
great,
they're getting
ready to
dressed,
go.
we're out the door. Then there's other mornings that, like, my younger daughter's like, my socks are too tight, my panties don't
Then you
fit.
have to learn, pick your battles.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, Mackenzie wore like a
100%.
Hawaiian dress to breakfast.
Oh
the other
yeah,
morning.
she was.
Because she just
Hawaii.
she needed a dress that spins.
If I let V,
What am I supposed to do?
If I let my younger girl wear her rain boots every day, like,
She
she's
would.
a pig in shit. Like, that's her joint. Like,
Yeah.
her rain boots. Like, she'll get up and I'll be like, V, what shoes do you want to be? She'll be like, is it raining? I'm like, no, it's not raining.
No, it's
But like, if she sees a little drizzle, like, she's on it. Like, she
Yeah.
will wear her shorts with her rain boots.
Yeah,
like,
get
that's
it, girl.
her joint.
And you're just gonna be like, get it, girl. Rock it. Do
And
your
I
thing.
don't have the energy to even fight about it because I'm like, dude, like, if that's
For
what
the
you want, then
time.
go for it.
How are
Like,
you supposed to spend 15 minutes on an outfit for a 5-year-old?
no. And it's cool because my older daughter, so they at that school they start uniforms from kindergarten and up.
Yeah,
so now
yeah.
Abby, she's in uniform, so she's a lot easier.
Yeah, mine too. It's uniform.
But V, you know, she's still in plain clothing, so like for her, like
She gets a pick
it has
her
to make
shit.
sense.
Yeah.
And like, God forbid, I choose something that doesn't make sense to her. It's like an all-out battle in the morning, and I'm like, girl, like, we gotta get your shit together. Like, we can't do this, girlfriend. Like, and I have it like timed to like a T. Like, I'm like, if I get by this exit by 8:05, like, we're golden, you know?
Yeah.
And then here comes V, and she's crying about everything underneath the
Because her
sun,
outfit
and
needs to be this way. Yeah, I know.
so
I
it's
know
like my time management is like my big. That's my competition is time management. You're like, I had this outfit in mind, and it just looks like shit on me.
That happens all the time.
Yeah, but then Ange posted an outfit or shoe, and Angie was like, "I'll be right there."
Detour. No, but that's the one thing I wish. I think it's a growth thing also.
100%.
As you get older, there are so many people out there doing so many different things.
Yep.
But there's no one there to hype them up, back them up. Like,
No,
I
so
just
then
feel like everyone is so mean. I really
And then
do.
if you don't have that support, now you're like,
What is wrong with hyping
"What am I
people
doing?"
up?
Yeah.
Like, you know, I don't know.
"Yeah, why can't you support another person?"
Like it's like everyone wants to be the top dog, which is
Right.
what I don't understand.
Yeah.
I get it. Like, but
And I think I think everybody views like top dog or being the best differently. Like, I don't need to have the most followers on Instagram.
Sadie, and somebody wants you to. CD commented and said she wants you to write a book.
Oh my gosh! If I only had the
underrated.
time. You know, and I think like when you talk about like support and stuff like that, I think it goes hand in hand. And like, you know, I remember when we first opened in Privy and all this nonsense came about that I had heard about, and I was like, well, I'm confused as to why anybody would feel away because like, I'm just gonna stay in my lane and do my own thing. Like, I'm not worried about what you're doing, what you're selling, what you're not selling, who goes to you, who doesn't go to you. Like, it's not my business, so I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? I'm going to open up Privy. I'm going to do my own thing, and whoever follows, and whoever doesn't. That's okay. And I am big on knowing, like, not everybody is for me. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
You know, when
I'm not for you. I'm done.
and I'm okay with that. I'm completely okay
I'll
with
see
that.
you tomorrow.
I've gone to that age in life and that time in life that I know that I'm not for everybody, and I'm okay with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. As long as they're okay for you and your daughters.
Right. And, you know, as long as I'm okay and knowing that, you know, I do my part in the community and, you know, trying to support other women in business. Like, you know, there's many times that we host events at the store and, you know, I invite women to come in and set up tables and stuff like that, you know, and I've never said, you know, you owe me XYZ fee or any of the above. Like, no, girl, make your money and leave. Like, you know, because at the end of the day, like, we all have a starting point, you know, and not everybody has the financial backing to open up their dream gig or, you know, open up, you know, their plant shop of their dreams, you know. So it's like, if I can help you out in any way, shape, or form, like,
you will.
girl, I'm for it. Like, you know, pull the trailer up, boo. Like, take out all the plants. I'm personally not a plant person because I can't keep them alive. I'll be 100% like, I don't have the time to water those bad lilies. Like,
Yeah, you have one plant.
I have one plant, and every day I'm watering that thing, and I'm like, don't die, don't die, don't die.
we in this together, girl.
For real.
I promise to water you one today.
No, it's hard. It's so hard. So, like, I get it. Like, I get what that is. And, you know, I'm fortunate that, you know, I did have a partner that was super supportive that till this day is like, if you want to do it, let's do it. Like, and I think that's so important, is to make sure that you have the support from your inner circle and, you know, whoever your village is, you know, whether it's a friend, a boyfriend, a husband, a girlfriend, like, single, not plural.
Yeah, not the whole village. Let's define that.
She is a village.
A village, not the village.
But I think it's super important to feel like if you don't get the support from the outer world, that's okay because you have the support of the ones that are truly like rooting for you and want to see you win. You know, there's many times I'm 100% a true freaking Libra. Like, girl, I come up with the most insane ideas. Like, he's like, Ange, cut the shit. Like,
I'm
stop.
gonna need you to simmer down.
Like, I'll be online and I'm like, I think I'm gonna go to nail school. And he's like, no, you're not. Like, stop.
We ain't got time for that.
No, you're not. And then, you know, 3 days later, I'm like, oh, I think I'm gonna open up this. And he's like, and no, you're not. Stop. Like, yeah, like he's so over my ideas. But in, you know, the true essence of everything, it's, you know, having that partner, a friend, or whoever, just say like, if you want to do it, let's do it. Yeah. You know, and feeling that support of like, if I fail, failure is not really an option. But in the case that I do, at least I have somebody that's going to accept me with no judgments and be like, hey, you know what? We tried it didn't work. And let's move on. What's next? You know? So I think that is like truly like, and I have these types of conversations with girls all the time that talk about like dating and being single. And I hear some horror stories all the time. Like, I'm tired of like the non-asked like dick pics that you guys get. Like, I feel for you guys.
That's about to be a show very soon.
Like, I feel for you guys. Cause like, I wouldn't even know how to respond. I'd be like, all right, my phone's going upside down. Like, I really wouldn't know how to respond to that. You know, Ange has a few. So I think it's truly important that when you are out in the field, you know, mingling and giggling and shit, that, you know, you find somebody that's going to go through like the ups and the downs and the woes and the failures and just be like, okay, so what are we going to do next?
Yeah,
you know,
what's
like,
next?
what are we going to how can we fix this? You know, what's next? So definitely, you know, get rid of the D pics and, you know.
Men, did you hear that? As I'm like, men, did you hear that?
Last words of the show.
Yeah,
Wisdom. They're gonna go.
Yeah. No D pics. None.
Oh man.
Please no.
But Ange, we do appreciate you being on here. Yeah. I hope
My
you
pleasure.
ladies got something out of this.
Yeah.
I mean,
definitely
just positive vibes, girls. Like,
yes,
and guys. I mean, it's everyone. It's
definitely.
It's everyone. Like, let's work together and
be better. I think that's the biggest thing is just be better.
I hate this world.
Just
Y'all are
be
making
better.
me like grumpy all the time.
And unapologetic at all times. You know, I think that's huge. Is
especially,
you know, I feel like
do.
When people do certain things, they feel like they have to explain themselves and, you know, well, I can't do this because of X, Y, Z. And it's like, you don't owe anybody shit.
No.
like, you know, you do that in the most unapologetic way like possible. And I think for me, when I was talking about like, okay, so we're gonna come up with like with clothing for the store, you know, what is that what is that going to look like? And I think the biggest word, the most prominent word that came out to me was like unapologetic. And we literally rode with it. And it's been huge for us. But I think that can go for anything, like unapologetically a badass woman, unapologetically a mother, unapologetically a businesswoman, a woman in business, a Hispanic woman in business, unapologetically at all costs, you know, and whatever that means to you, that's what that means for you, you know. And I think unapologetic was such a way that so many different people could relate and be like, you know what, I am fucking unapologetic, you know, whether it's because, you know, I left my job or, you know, I left my husband or whatever the case may be, you know, that's just what it is, you know.
And for president 2020.
Yes.
I'm with it.
We're going to get rid of all student loans, including mine. I never want to pay those.
We'll vote for you.
Yeah.
I never want to pay those.
I think everybody who visits your store, and I know, can we just hit that you have online shopping too? Because that's how I just went into the store recently, but I bought from.
So, we have a fully functional website online, so it is shopprivyboutique.com.
And it's super easy.
Super easy. Literally, we have two options. You can pick up in store or you can have it shipped. We try to do our best to, by a certain time frame, get it out on the same day. But again, shit happens. It's hectic. So if not, we get it out obviously within 48 hours. But a lot of, I think it's hysterical too, because we have so many moms that come to us and they'll literally call us and be like, I'm outside. Like, you know, they'll order something online and they have a pickup and we'll run it out, you know, because again, I get it. You know, it's hard. Like, you know, I get to Target and both of my kids are like, Target, yes! And in my mind, I'm like, why didn't I do pickup?
That place is evil.
Because, you know, I get to the cash register and I'm, you know, 5 frozen hand sanitizers and 2 LOL dolls and I got Lysol wipes. The one thing I came in for, you know? So I think a lot of women take advantage of that, and I think that's awesome because, again, whether it's me or one of my girls, they will definitely run it right out to you, and you're all set. And our physical location is located in Westport. It's literally right on Route 6. We're right next door to UPS. That's literally what I tell everybody.
Which is
we're
super
really
helpful for
right
you,
next door
I
to
would
UPS.
assume, right? Like it's.
Yeah, it's cool. Like if we have like a bulk order that we need to ship out or any of the above, it's super convenient. They supply us with all our boxes and stuff like that. So super chill to be next door too.
Yep.
But I mean, there's no football, but we can't stay on here forever, unfortunately. I'd like to.
I know we could totally.
I know, but you know,
hour of conversation.
EBM's like, you guys gotta go. But Ange, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And
next week we got are we gonna?
Oh yeah, we are.
We have some surprises.
Yes. So once again,
there we go, Ange. That's it, girl.
Yeah,
you finish it. So nobody says like you didn't drink your wine.
You didn't even drink your wine.
I gotta show them. Listen, in college, I used to drink 151 like right out of the bottle. Like, we were like hardcore in Miami.
That's why she's not drinking wine.
Now as a mom, I'm like, I can't hang. I can't do this shit.
I already my train of thought. Sorry. Oh, yes. So, I just want to mention once again, our sponsor. I mean, he's been just so helpful.
He's helpful with everything, not just our cars, with life.
Yeah, just too, everything. Yeah, we have an appointment coming up with him soon too. He's like our other therapist, you know.
Yeah.
Him and his wife. So
therapists matter.
Yeah, they matter.
Therapists
they really do. They really do.
Whether you are mechanics or not, you matter.
100%. 100%.
So thank you so much for sponsoring us and having faith in us, and we're gonna get there. So we have faith.
Amen.
We have
faith.
Can I get an amen up in here?
By next week. So we switched it up a little bit
because we have a special guest at the end of the month,
which we will release next week.
Yeah, we'll talk about him next week. But
it's a him.
It's a him.
But
wait.
Oh wait, we'll tell you after.
So we will be doing Halloween a little bit early, and we're doing Halloween on Monday.
Oh, Lord.
Any crazy stories? I have something in the works that we're both reaching out to hear about on the show. You know, like just, you know, a little
any
friendly
spooky-
figure in someone's house constantly.
Spooky stories.
So any spooky stories, anything going on. I'm going to talk a little bit about Salem. When I went in September, so it wasn't too busy, but I've had some feedback of what it's like now.
Yeah. And I know we had a lot of people questioning about like what's open and what's closed and what if it's even bothering to go to Salem right now during this bullshit.
And the best part is me and Taylor will be dressed.
We
have Halloween costumes.
We're a whole time.
Angie knows what we are, so don't be going into the store trying to find out what we are.
Ask me, please.
Because
She's weak.
no one's gonna know, okay? Just saying. No one's knowing.
We're coming strong.
Yeah, we're coming strong on Monday. Halloween costumes, probably 2 bottles of wine.
Yeah.
No headsets unless y'all want to talk to us. Nobody wanted to talk to us tonight, but that's okay. I see you.
People had stuff to say, but
Yeah, I see you.
all right. Well, thank you, Ange.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
And
When we get
again,
off-
just be better. Be better.
Be better
All of you.
women.
Just be better.
Be better, and if you
it.
need cute clothes, just go to Angie.
Yeah, or perfect tan, by the way.
Yeah.
Yes, the tanning is
Yeah.
it. It is.
It is.
It is.
She's all like tan and
I feel like a
I
tan
know
makes
you
you feel like so much better too.
Oh, it takes you from like a 2 to a 12 real quick.
Instant. Instant.
You're mad sweaty.
It's warm in
You're gonna
here.
make me break. I got a jacket on. Girl. But yeah, thank you guys. We just keep talking.
Yeah, we're saying bye like 12 times. Okay, this time really though. Bye.
We're like Portuguese and Hispanic right now. Bye. Hey, did you grab that chicken?
Bye.
Yay.